Welcome back to a very special edition of Earth Changes Radio. This is breaking news coming to you live and direct from across the internet. It's just happened a few minutes ago. James Comey, the FBI leader, the FBI chief, has been fired by Donald Trump. He's sent a letter to James Comey on the recommendations of the Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and Sean Spicer has announced on Tuesday night, Tuesday evening, and you're listening to this live right now. Apparently, the letter says that the FBI is one of the nation's most cherished and respected institutions, and today will mark a new beginning in the crown jewel of law enforcement, said the letter that Mr. Donald Trump wrote to James Comey, essentially, effectively firing him immediately and removing him from the job. What do you make of this earthplay?
That's right, Steve. We like to stay one step ahead of the mainstream clown circus media, fake media. So we're kind of tapped into listening post Bravo Sierra. So I don't even think the FBI is yet aware of the dismissal of Mr. Comey, but I would say that from my perspective, it's a long time coming. He failed. He dropped the gauntlet when he had Hillary Clinton in a vice, and he should have squeezed. That was probably a good plug for Squeeze the Sharp. Please don't squeeze the Charmin.
One of the big things I'm reading between the lines is a lot of mention of Huma Abedin being a security risk and effectively avoiding jail time for releasing emails, state security, highly classified, confidential emails that is related to America's national security, releasing these emails and sharing them with people like her pedophile husband, Mr. Anthony Weiner. Now, I'm reading between the lines here. This sounds like it's the start of going after Hillary Clinton. Do you see that as this is part of that? This is part of that push to actually clean up the shit that he promised in his election campaign? Do you feel that? Do you sense that impending fucking doom on these pieces of garbage? I don't know. I'm still holding my breath waiting. What do you think?
Sure gives one hope, doesn't it, Steve? I would hope that that's the direction that this is going to move in, that some of these criminals in our government will be prosecuted and brought to justice. But I have learned to expect the unexpected from Donald Trump. Even his campaign promises haven't exactly panned out the way that he sold them. He is, after all, a professional salesman, Steve. And he sold the American people a bill of goods. Right now, I'm really not happy with the direction, some of the things, but I don't see it moving in quite that direction yet, Steve, although I'd love to see it happen.
You know, Donald Trump wrote in tweets on May the 2nd, almost about a week ago, that he had great confidence in the director. He was saying that about a week ago. On May the 3rd, he said he had great confidence in Comey as a director. However, today at the press briefing, Sean Spicer was very reluctant to repeat that same thing that Donald Trump had posted on his Twitter account. Now, we all know that FBI Director Comey was the best thing that ever happened to Hillary Clinton, that he gave her a free pass for many criminal actions. The phony Russian connection to Donald Trump was an excuse used by the Democrats as justification for losing the election. So the interesting thing is here, is this the start of this criminal cabal being investigated? The only thing we can point to is who is going to replace James Comey. Are they going to get another Wall Street stooge? Are they going to get another of these stooges that they have in their office? I don't know. Probably a Zionist, probably an Israeli-American, but I sure hope to God not. I sure hope to God that there's going to be somebody with an ounce of justice in their heart, with a little bit of balls, if you like, with a bit of hairy testicles, that can stand up to these criminal people that have been running the show behind the scenes, the deep state, the shadow government, the George Soroses of the world. But time will tell. I'm reading the Washington Post, the New York Times, and ABC, all the worst fucking places to go from the media to get a good media source, that this is the only place it's come out at the moment. I'm sure it's going to be all over the news today, but nevertheless, this is one guy who probably won't get a job in the Donald Trump administration. You think?
What I can only say to you, Steve, is that you're dealing with politicians and politics. People die, nations rise and fall due to it. Very, very difficult topic to speak upon. Uh, I don't know. I cannot second guess Donald Trump. He has said one thing and done the other. The art of the deal. He's been a very good salesman. It's very unpredictable. I'm worried about international concerns right now, and the rumors of war and the warmongering and debts becoming payable and bankers acting weird, and people taking their corporations and their families to countries like Belize and leaving America. Very concerning for me right now, Nephilim. I'm not sure what to think about the current political environment. Just it looks too dangerous right now for me to make any kind of prediction whatsoever. I can tell you right now that Donald Trump is becoming the consummate politician. Therefore, he is becoming very untrustworthy.
Well, I might be so bold as to make a prediction. I think this is the first of a couple of big names that are going to be facing the unemployment dole line, if you like, because James Comey is probably the face of Hillary Clinton's support column that actually gave her a free pass and gave her a free ride during the elections, despite the security concerns, despite the national security breaches, and the obvious breaking of the law that everybody has been talking about, that everybody knows about, that the insiders know about, the politicians all know about it. They're all fuming. Senate and Congress are fuming that Hillary Clinton appeared to be untouchable, but that, it appears now, is no longer the case. She is not untouchable anymore. This stooge going down, I think, is the first domino in a few dominoes to be falling in the next few weeks. As far as the wars and rumors of wars, that only helps the markets. Come on, the world is a theater. As soon as they realize it's too expensive to keep that show going, they're going to pull back the curtains, and you're going to see a brick wall at the back of the theater. Frank Zappa once said that, and I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing more spectacle, more theater, more show for the masses to keep people busy. Because while you're focused on, oh my God, we're going to die, what's going on, World War III, Anonymous even warned. Anonymous put out a message yesterday warning about World War III. But guess what? It's all theater, it's all stage show, and it's just there to keep us distracted and keep us not looking at shit like this. That keep us not looking at what's really going on behind the scenes and the stooges that are being exposed for the stooges that they are.
Well, we've seen this before, Steve, with WikiLeaks. The emails and the information that was leaked was damning. It was damning. But people didn't really seem to mind what was in the email because they were stuck on, well, where did the emails come from? How did they get the emails? Nobody ever squabbled about the authenticity of the emails or what was in them. The only thing that they were concerned about was how did these emails fall into the public hands. And I'm damn glad that they did. If things like the Podesta emails don't wake the American people up, I don't know what it would take. You know, so I'm not defending WikiLeaks, okay? They're not a hacking organization. They're kind of like a dump repository for whistleblowers. And WikiLeaks releases that information, be it good or bad or against national security. Sometimes I believe it's necessary. Hell, our enemies know more about what's going on in our country than our own citizens do. It's atrocious. So, Steve, we're in another one of these conundrums right now with all of this political theater. I don't know. What is it going to take to bring Hillary down? They've shown their activity in Haiti, their foundation, their pay-to-play schemes and deals, and their uranium dealings with the Canadians, making deals with the Russians. You want a Russian connection, that's right there. What is nothing? I don't think there's anything more that can come out of the laundry here, Steve, besides physical murders. Okay? And it's going to take something to that magnitude to turn any of this around in the eyes of the American people.
Well, you've been listening to an Earth Changes News, Earth Changes Radio breaking news story about James Comey being fired. Is this the start of something bigger? I certainly hope so, and I hope we see some more firings and some more people going under the scrutiny, the scrutiny of real justice very, very soon. So stay tuned for Earth Changes Radio 12 coming out soon. We're going to be doing the interview today with Brendan O'Connell. Should be very fascinating. Should be a great interview. Look forward to that. Final thoughts on the matter and wrap this up, Mr. Earthplay.
I think I've pretty much said all I have to say about this. It's very frustrating. That's why I don't like to deal with politics that much, but it is infuriating to watch the activities of these people, this circus. I would like to think that it's going to go somewhere, but I don't think so. And he should have squeezed. So much, that was probably a good plug for Squeeze the Sharp. Please don't squeeze the Charmin.
One of the big things I'm reading between the lines is a lot of mention of Huma Abedin being a security risk and effectively avoiding jail time for releasing emails. State security said the letter that Mr. Donald Trump wrote to James Comey, essentially, effectively firing him immediately and removing him from the job. What do you make of this Earthplay?
That's right, Steve. We like to stay one step ahead of the mainstream clown circus media, fake media. So we're kind of tapped into listening post Bravo Sierra. So I don't even think the FBI is yet aware of the dismissal of Mr. Comey, but I would say that from my perspective, it's a long time coming. He failed. He dropped the gauntlet when he had Hillary Clinton in a vice.
Welcome back to a very special edition of Earth Changes Radio. This is breaking news coming to you live and direct from across the internet. It's just happened a few minutes ago. James Comey, the FBI leader, the FBI chief, has been fired by Donald Trump. He's sent a letter to James Comey on the recommendations of the Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and Sean Spicer has announced on Tuesday night, Tuesday evening, and you're listening to this live right now. Apparently, the letter says that the FBI is one of the nation's most cherished and respected institutions, and today will mark a new beginning in the crown jewel of law enforcement.